Stop listening. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Some old guy with MS here again. I got that damn straw poking the side of my house head. Anyway, there you go. I thought today I'd talk a little bit about first coming to the care home here. I actually have not been here very long. I've been here for less than 6 months. So actually, I came here quite recently. You probably can't see it, but in this room, there over to the right, I've got a hospital bed, and way up above, I have an overhead lift. So what they do is there's a sling behind me that I'm sitting on. I'm actually not quite sitting on it. It's behind my back. And then they put two long legs of it under my legs. And then they hook that in the middle and the top, two sides of the sling to the lift, and they lift me up and put me in bed. And actually, you might find this surprising, I had all this equipment at home. It's quite expensive, but our healthcare plan paid for a lot of it. They didn't pay for the bed for I forget the reason. It was something really stupid. But the bed, believe it or not, I think the bed was around $5,000. The lift was around 10, but the health insurance paid for a lot of that. So basically what happened, why I ended up here is, I was in this condition, can't move anything but my head. And we had St. Elizabeth people coming in the morning to get me up and feed breakfast, and at night to put me to bed. And Irene was like, well, she's almost like the door lady, She had to let these people in, let them out. She kind of had to make sure she was home. And of course, she's fretting about everything. And it was just becoming a lot of stress for her. And, she's a little bit older than me. So we put my name in to Fraser Health to get into a care home. And they said probably be about 2 years. And lo and behold, in about 6 months, they called up and said, yeah, we got a place for you. It's in the care home you want to go into. You've got, they called up on Friday and they said, yeah, you got to go Monday. So Irene was going, well, this is way too soon. You know, it's a year and a half before we expected. And she was talking about canceling it. And I said, you know, if you cancel it, it probably will be 2 years. 2 years. We won't, you know, we may not get the home we want. And I think it's better to take it. So we did. And I ended up in here. Yeah, which is okay. So when I first came here, I think we're already in the virus thing, in the COVID sort of thing. So when I first got here, we were eating in the dining room, but we were supposed to be, 6 feet separate. So, we ate in different areas. And where I was assigned, there were 2 long tables, about 6 feet long each. And there were 2 of us at each table. So there were 4 people in this kind of almost like a conference room, sort of behind where the TV is, behind the TV room. And I remember when I first went there, it's all new to me, so I'm not saying too much. They wheel me in, put me at the end of the table. There's one fellow down from me, and then a woman down from him, and a woman at the other end of the table. And we are all English speaking, which is not the case with a lot of people here. But anyway, we're all white English speaking people. And the 3 that I'm with are mainly just old. I mean, maybe a touch of dementia. I think one had a touch of dementia. But the others were, quite okay. Just old. So when I first went in there, no one said a word to anyone. And I'm sitting there and had my dinner, and then the next day we go in actually I would go in for lunch and dinner. No one says a word. And, but I hear all the care aides. They would come in and say, well, okay, I got to change the names to protect the innocent. So they would come in and they'd say, like to the guy, they would say like, hi, Gordon, how are you today? And they speak a little bit loud, but I think mainly because most of the people are old and don't hear that well. And then the Gordon would say, oh, fine. And then I'd go to one of the women and say, hi, Jane, how are you today? And they would answer and go, well, there's one woman, she would always say, oh, I'm fine, but it's cold. And they said, yeah, well, we'll get a sweater for you. And then there was another woman. The other woman, she was French, and she didn't seem to understand English very well. And, they'd say to her something like, hi, Claudette, how are you today? And she'd look at them confused and, then she'd say something in French. And, I have no idea what she said. And, neither did the Carries. But they just sort of humor her. So what I started doing when I came in, I sort of learned all their names. So I would come in, and it sort of started with the guy. So I'd come in and say, hi, Gordon. And he'd sort of look at me like, who are you? And then one of the Carries would go, Gordon. Roy said hi. Are you going to say hi back? And then he'd go, oh, hi. And then I'd learn the other woman's names, and I'd go, see what I say her name is. I go, oh, hi, Jane. How are you today? And she'd go, oh, fine. And so I'd say, are you cold today? And she'd go, yeah. And, depending on the weather, I'd say, oh, well, it's a nice day today, or yeah, it's rainy today, or whatever. And then the French woman, I would go, bonjour, Claudette. And she'd sort of perk up. She'd go, oh, bonjour, bonjour. And, that's almost the extent of my French. But I do remember, so I would then say, comment ça va? And she would go, oh, ça va bien. Or sometimes she'd go, oh, come see, come ça, or something like that. So I started saying hi to all of them every time I went in for a meal. And, we all have up days and down days. And I remember once I went in there and I kind of thought to myself, yeah, I don't even know why I bother. So I didn't say anything to anyone. And that Gordon, he goes to me, hey, you? Or like, hey, there's that good looking guy. How are you doing, Roy? And so, of course, I responded back, oh, I'm very good. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Gordon. And then that Jane, she would go, hi, Roy. And I'd say hi back to her. And the French woman, I'd say hi to her. So it's very interesting If no one said anything, if no one instigated it, they would just sit there in silence. But because I instigated it, everybody said hi, which was kind of nice. Yeah. The other kind of, weird thing about this place, weird, but now I decided it's nice, is all the male residents they would call dad, and all the female ones they'd call mom. So, for instance, I'd be like at the table, and they're feeding me, and they'd go, "Come on, Dad, eat your mashed potatoes," or whatever. Like, they'd have to feed me, of course. And to begin with, I thought, why you call me Dad? I'm not your dad. But after a while, I kind of like it. So I guess it makes it a little more homey and personal, I guess. Yeah. So I don't know all the residents. Believe it or not, about half of the residents are Chinese and either don't speak English or speak very, very poor English. Um, there's a French woman. I think there's an Italian woman. Um, and let's see. Oh, yeah, there's another white guy. And there's another white guy that doesn't speak to anyone. And he's not that old. I'd say he's probably in his mid 50s. He's in an electric wheelchair. He races around all over the place and doesn't talk to anyone ever, which is strange. I get the feeling he's mad at the world about something. And there's a Chinese woman around my age. She seems she's very able-bodied. She seems to know what's what. So I'm not really sure why she's here. I think she faints a lot or something like that. But we play with the care aid. We play dominoes, all the three of us. And it's quite fun. We've I got one of the care aids, one of the other care aids, or activity aids. When we finished a game, I said to her, just put the dominoes face up and let's put them in order and see how many are under each name. Well, in our largest set of dominoes, they go up to 9, but the number of dominoes in each number is all totally mixed up. Like there'll be 4 ones or 12, or like 8, or there's 3 of one, I remember. And then the threes, there's 7 of them, but it's all mixed up. They then got a smaller set of dominoes where it only goes up to 6. And there's the same number of dominoes under each number. So there's 7 sixes, 7 fives, 7 fours, 7 threes, 7 twos, 7 ones, and 7 spaces. So you can actually figure out, what's left. That's quite easy. Or you can make a very educated guess of what your opponents have. If only 2 of you play, you can figure out what your opponent has. And this our main activity aid. He's figured that out. So if we play the small set, he just about wins all the time. I mean, I know how he's doing it. I just can't add quite as fast as he can. But anyway, it's still interesting. So there is a strategy to dominoes. Count the number of dominoes under each number. And from that, you can figure out what dominoes are all down and make a very fairly accurate guess to what your opponents have. So there is a strategy. I looked up on the internet strategies for dominoes, and all they said was play your biggest numbers first. Well, yes, but knowing how many dominoes are under one number or a number is a far better strategy. Yeah. Anyway, this home, it's home for now. Well, I think it's home for probably the rest of my life. Which is okay. You got to live somewhere. And the other interesting, I think this is just absolutely amazing. Do you ever watch Grey's Anatomy or any hospital show or a thing like that? Well, the entire show, most of the show is drama between the surgeons and the doctors. It's like, have you watched The Good Doctor? Well, The Good Doctor involves the patients a little more, but a lot, like I'd say over 50% of the stories are dramas between the workers. Well, you know what? In a senior's home, everyone seems to be lovey-dovey, get along fine, and there's no issue. And after you're here for a while, you start seeing the cracks. And it's not quite as lovey-dovey as that. There are some care aides that like other ones and don't quite so much like other ones. Same with the activity aides, and I wouldn't say there's competition between activity aides and care aides, but there's something. It's not competition. It's not, they get along, but they're definitely, different. And, because most of the clients are old and got dementia, there's not too much going on between them. But there is a little bit. And it's very, very interesting. People are people, no matter where they are, or how old they are, or what conditions they're in. I kind of think I'm above all that, but probably not. But it's just human life. Anyway, I think that's about it. I'm not sure what I'll talk about next stream, but I guarantee it will be interesting. Or maybe I'll tell another story about Steve from the hallway, from when I was fine. Anyway, I think I'll wrap it up here. So, end communication. Start listen. Oh yeah, this is not for you. Start listening. Mouse grid. 8, 8, 8, 1. Click. Mouse grid. 5, 5, 9, 3, 8. Click. Bye-bye.